Hi, I'm Macbigicekeys, and this is Herman Electro. Herman Electro is it's kind of like a roguelike mixed with a puzzle game. It looks very simple, but the puzzles can get quite complicated, and it's one of those games that you get your brain bent a little bit as you're trying to play. I'm going to show you the copyright information. These are the creators, 315 software team. Interesting team. They developed this as high schoolers. They've been working on it for about 5 years. My one issue, my one area for improvement would be to improve all the assets in the game, from the tile set to the character design. The music seems to be free music, Philip Glass, which is awesome. I'm just not sure it quite fits with what we're doing in the game. The game overall is really rewarding to play. I probably put, I don't know, yesterday I probably put about, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours into it, off and on. I kind of leave it on my computer, go and do something, come back, try the next level, come back, try the next level, that sort of thing all day. One cool thing that they do with the game is they slowly introduce all the tile sets. Like across here, we have different items that you can use and different tiles. So, and these are used as components for the puzzles. So sticky buttons and mud, which makes you slide, covered pits, which fall away after you step off of them, cross wires, buckets, guns, guards, which are these monkeys that you have to avoid or kill in order to solve a puzzle. I like how at the beginning of the game, not all of these are open. So it's really at the very beginning, it's just a matter of like stepping on a button and stepping off of a button to, open and close a trap door. And then each time you play through the game, because there are 6 different levels of this dungeon or this basement that we're going into. The premise of the game isn't quite clear either, because you're just this little electrician dude named Herman. There are other characters as well that you can unlock, which are shown down here. And there's June, Edmund, Natasha, and you unlock these through successful runs of I'm going to just call it a dungeon because it's built kind of like a roguelike. So currently I only have Herman unlocked, and honestly I haven't gotten to level 6 of a level yet. I'm still kind of unlocking the different equipment. So these rooms open up each time you solve a new puzzle. The room will open up again. So right here we have a power source, and it's like redstone in Minecraft, right? The power's going over here to close this door. So what we can do is use the wire cutters to snip that, and that'll open it up. And you notice the doors down here just open up. So this is like the first level of the mansion, whatever it is that we're delving into. And so these puzzles are going to be fairly easy. And you'll notice something that they've done pretty well as far as developing the game is the next room that you open up will have the tools that you need to solve either the puzzle that you're working on or the next room that'll open up following that. So I'm sure there's some strange logic going into how that works. So you see now I picked up a brick, and that's all that I have. You'll also have this phoenix feather, which is it's like a totem in Minecraft, so you get 1 free death out of it, and it'll automatically solve the puzzle for you. Here we have another puzzle. Now the toolbox could be here, it could be here, or it could be here. Likelihood is that it's right here. If we had a saw, we could just saw through the wood, but we don't have a saw. So we have to figure out how we can solve this with the tools that we have. And sometimes there are multiple ways to solve the puzzle. But for this, we're just going to be able to break this glass with this brick. There we go. All right, so now again, if I had a saw right here, I would be able to just walk around and simply solve this by sawing through that wood right there. But I don't have a saw. And so that brings up another interesting element in the game, is that I've seen this puzzle before. These are not all procedurally developed, these are handcrafted, but sometimes they'll flip them around or rotate them or something like that. And sometimes you won't have the tool that you had last time to solve it, so you have to solve it a different way with a new tool. So I'm not sure. Wait, that's not going to do it. All right, that'll do it. So I was able to, by hitting these buttons in the right order, I was able to open up these doors, and then I can use the one plank that I have as my tool to solve the puzzle. And this is the first time I've solved this puzzle this way. Boom. One nice thing is, as you finish a level, you'll be able to, there are 2 chests usually in the next area that you're going to go down, the next stairwell, and you can go ahead and solve that if you have the tools necessary and get some bonus items. Now, there's a nice feature, this padlock right here, it toggles on and toggles off safety. So if I turn that off, I can fall into a hole, or I can walk into an enemy, or I can get electrocuted. But if I turn it on, then I'm safe, and it'll stop me and warn me. There are some times where you need to kind of kill yourself in order to solve a puzzle because you don't have the tools that you need, but usually that's not the case. One thing I really enjoy about this game is you'll enter into a puzzle room and you'll just kind of sit there and think about the puzzle before you even attempt to solve it, if you're actually trying to do a serious playthrough. This room is a good example. We have 2 planks, we have 2 wire cutters, and we have 2 saws. So we could very easily just go up here and saw through this block and just walk up and get it that way, and that would use our 2 saws. We could go this way and trigger this block like this, and just to show that, we could trigger that, but then we would have this wall and this wall appear, and so we can't walk through that, which means we could then use a saw to break that piece of wood, and it would kill that door, but then we would have to use wire cutters and it would kill that door, and we'd be able to get in. So that would use 1 saw and 1 wire cutters. And then we could also solve this by doing this, the saw right here. I think this is the one I'm going to do, and then the plank like that, and then boom, I get my toolbox. So it's nice to sit there. A lot of the gameplay isn't like moving around on the screen and clicking buttons. A lot of the gameplay is sitting there staring at the puzzle and figuring it out before you choose what to do. And even when you do that, there are times where you make that choice and you're like, oh, I overlooked this other thing and now I'm trapped and I have to die. And once you die, you have to start all over. That's the roguelike element of the game. I wish there was a way to save the game, so if you got to like a level 5 and you didn't have time to finish playing at that moment, that you could be able to save it and then come back to it. But I understand it being a roguelike that's not the best way to do this sort of thing. This game is designed for you to kind of do runs as you go through. Herman Electro also has a shop in the dungeon, and again, this appears randomly on our map as we're exploring. So we have a red blue helmeted character, and then we have a king character. I don't know if these are the playable characters from earlier, or I don't know who these are, but this is our shop. And basically how they've done it is it's kind of a trade rather than a purchase. So if I had a gun and a brick, I could walk up here, and as I step into the tile, it would spend one of those items in order to get to the item at the end. So the flame item is pretty nice because it destroys adjacent wood blocks, but the pick I haven't really used too much, so I don't know if I want to spend and I can't. I don't have 2 sponges right now. I only have a plank and a sponge, so I can't buy either of these. It would be nice if there was some sort of scoring system. I don't know how they would do this, but maybe if you earned coins for every room that you solved properly, or some sort of point system, and here you could spend points rather than items. Here's a puzzle featuring the guard, and the guard has an interesting mechanic. As soon as you get close to it or move toward it, it will follow the path of least resistance in order to get to you, and if it occupies your tile, then you die. Let me show you what I mean though. If it'll move up and I can kind of control it. So watch, I can have it go this way, but if I move around over here, if I didn't think first, then it would hit that button, which would lock me out. So let's move him back. You can also kill the guard with the gun. You can electrocute him, you can throw him in a pit. There's all sorts of ways to dispose of him, and I don't have to worry about him following me because we have this pit here. So the power is cut off to that button, which means when it gets to it, it should not trigger this door. All right. And then if we want, we won't get bonus points, but like I said, if we were doing some sort of system where there was scoring, maybe that could earn us some extra coins or something like that, so we get an extra reward for getting rid of the guard. And then our 2 doors open. Here we have another puzzle room. I want you to try to solve this one yourself. So after I explain the tools, I want you to hit pause and see if you can solve it. So, and I think we already know all the tools. Here we have the wire cutters, we have 1 of those, we have 3 planks, and we have 4 sponges. And the only thing new is these sticky buttons. So once you step on these buttons, they won't unstick, which means that we would need a sponge to clean them up so we could unstick them. And then these pits, once you step on them, you can't go back because it creates a hole. So go ahead and pause it real quick, see if you can solve it. All right, and I'm going to see if I can solve it here, see if we came up with the same solution. So that's going to trigger. That's going to trigger. I don't have a saw. It doesn't matter if I trigger this because I'm not going to go over there. We got 3 saws, and so this time we're going to... I don't think it matters if we undo that one. Oh, it does matter. And there we go. The treasure room or the rewards room. So you get a chest and sometimes you get some scrap metal. These scrap metal pieces can also be used in other shops. All right, we got a map. A map will reveal everything on this level, or even when you go to a new level, you click on that, it reveals everything. And while we're talking about maps, I think it would be nice if you've already explored the map to have the option to go and click on the mini map and just kind of jump to a room that you haven't solved yet, but that you've already explored. A lot of roguelike games where there's puzzles or keys involved will let you do that. And here we have a room where there is a prisoner. I have not seen this yet, so this says cut me out of here. So we can't just touch it and open it. We have to have pliers, and we have wire cutters. So there we go. We unlock Edmund the Elder. Sweet. So what do we do now? I guess we can play as Edmund. Maybe he has special abilities or something like that. We'll have to wait and find out. Here's a good example of where you need to be careful about how you use your supplies. So I have 1 brick, 2 sponges, 1 bucket, a plank, and 4 saws. I can solve this puzzle by sawing this piece of wood and sawing this piece of wood and putting a puddle right here to send this electricity to these trapdoors so they close. That'll leave me with 2 saws and a plank, 2 sponges, and a brick. And then I have this other room up here that I need to solve, and I can solve this with 4 saws, but I can also solve it with 1 plank, a brick here, and 1 saw here. So that will leave me with 3 saws and a bucket. So by thinking about what I need for both rooms, I can solve all the rooms instead of solving one and then being stuck not being able to solve the other. And here we are going to the, I think this is going to be the 6th floor. This will be my first time. I think this is the last level of the dungeon / map, and I'm not going to show any of it because I don't want to ruin it for you. I really like the mechanics in the game, and I think that's the essence of any good game. The mechanics of this game has kept me coming back over the last couple days. When I have 2 or 3 AAA titles that I haven't finished playing that I'm enjoying, but they don't get me thinking as much. This game is good as it is, but the developers could, and they said that they're going to continue to develop and add details and listen to feedback from their players and whatnot and try to do weekly updates. So I think that's cool too. Anyways, I know this has been a long one, but I've enjoyed all the different elements of this game. Herman Electro. Comment if you like if you do. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing if you made it to the end.